Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to my Robinhood portfolio. What I thought I'd do today is talk a little bit about PE ratios. A lot of you guys have been asking what that is and why it's important. So I thought I'd kind of go through PE ratios with my pharmaceutical stocks. So I have one of those up now, AbbVie Incorporated. If we scroll down, we can see a little section detailing a PE ratio right above the dividend yield there of 16.711. So a PE ratio is simply a product of the price divided by the earnings over the last 4 quarters. So the price is simply the price of the stock. So for AbbVie Incorporated, it would be $60.67. And the earnings would be the earnings for the last 4 quarters. So you would simply add up Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4 of 2016 for the bottom number there. And that number, price divided by earnings over the last 4 quarters, would equal that 16.711. So that's important because that's showing how much an investor is willing to pay for $1 of profit for this particular company. So every $16.71 essentially you put into the company, you'll get $1 of earnings back. And it's essentially used to compare between different companies. So AbbVie, for example, has 16.711. If we go over to Eli Lilly and Company, you can see the PE ratio is 29.93. So an investor is willing to pay more money per dollar of profit with this particular company, or dollar of earnings for this particular company. So AbbVie, $17.71. This company, $29.93. And essentially, this is telling you that an investor expects more profit in the future. Here, another PE ratio from Pfizer, 27.54. And some stocks, if they don't have profit, will actually show an NA there. So you can see here on the bottom, Q4 earnings for Portola. This is a newer, smaller biotech company. You can see its earnings are negative. So if there's a NA, and sometimes they'll even calculate a negative earnings ratio, but for the most part, they put NA if there is an earnings ratio that is negative. Basically, can't calculate the price to earnings ratio for Portola. So that's kind of how the PE ratio is used. It's kind of used to compare companies, how strong companies are, how much an investor is willing to pay per dollar of revenue, per dollar of earnings. And it's also important because you can compare between companies in any market sector. There are some limitations, so you can't really compare PE ratio from a pharmaceutical stock to, for example, let's go down to industrials here, Boeing. You really can't compare between PE ratios because they're completely different companies. So a high PE ratio in industrials, for example, may not correlate to a high PE ratio for pharmaceutical stocks. So again, that's how much a stock, or excuse me, how much an investor is willing to pay on a stock or pay towards a company for each dollar of earnings. Another important aspect of that is there's a lot of companies that may be leveraged. For example, a lot of the financial stocks are leveraged. So if there's leveraged money, that's debt, and that will bring down a ratio. On the other hand, if the company's performing well, that leveraged money will make the PE ratio much, much greater. So kind of skews numbers. And then also the earnings is reported by the company itself. So if the company's not giving you accurate numbers, that's also going to skew the PE ratio. So that's kind of a parameter used to judge between companies in any one particular market sector. You can't really judge between different market sector companies or companies that don't have a good correlation, underlying correlation between the two companies. So it's kind of used to see if a stock is overpriced or not. If a PE ratio is very, very high, that may indicate the stock price is a little bit too high, which brings another drawback. The price is kind of dictated by the market. So stock can be very high, but the company value may be very low. That will also skew the ratio. So the PE ratio overall is used to compare companies between between companies in the same market sector. You can't really compare between companies in different market sectors. It gives you kind of an idea if a company is undervalued or overvalued. If a PE ratio is very low, you may consider that company to be undervalued. If it's very, very high, that may be an overvalued company. But again, you have to compare it within a market sector. So pharmaceuticals might have a PE ratio consistently of 20s here, 16, 29. This one was 27. Whereas in a different industry, it may be much lower, like in the 15s. And typically, I think overall, an average about 20, 25 is kind of baseline for most companies. So it's much more complicated than that because you can use all sorts of different earnings for the earnings ratio. You can use future projected earnings. You can use a trailing average. It gets very, very complicated, but essentially that's how a PE ratio is calculated, and that's how it's used, kind of to value a company between companies in any one market sector. So I hope that made sense. That's a very quick and easy way of understanding PE ratios. Like I said, it gets much more complicated than that. But that's how I kind of use PE ratios to kind of see if a company is overvalued or not when compared to its peers within any one market sector. So yeah, just kind of wanted to talk about PE ratios. If you guys have any further insights or can describe that better, let me know. Like I said, I'm a learning investor, taking a look at some of these metrics that are used to evaluate stocks. And if I get anything incorrect, let me know. The whole point of these videos is to learn. So not only for myself, but for you guys as well. So if there's anything I'm saying incorrectly, let me know, and I'll definitely update the video. So yeah, kind of with that, I'll end the video. As always, if you enjoy my videos, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Like I said, the whole point of these videos is to learn not only for myself, but for you guys as well, to get some user input and connect with other investors using Robinhood and trying to make some money. So if you guys have any good investment ideas for me, any good video ideas, let me know. Any good stocks, let me know. If I describe this incorrectly, let me know. Or if there's any better insights into the PE ratio, let me know as well. I'm always open to new ideas and new suggestions. So yeah, let me know either way. So kind of with that, I'll end the video, and we'll see you guys later.